This is a copyrighted audiobook production of Music, Silence, and Noise, authored by Mohammed Saad Riaz. All rights reserved.
Music, Silence, and Noise. Section 1. The Crescendo, the popular kind. Diamonds in a rough. Behind every young child who believes in himself is a parent who believed first. Matthew Jacobson. The crescendo, children and their families' overall life, revolves around talents and capabilities. Parents need to be able to nurture their talented children's strengths. However, they also need to develop their skills in other areas as well. Problems arise when some parents keep on bragging about their children's achievements or when they never feel the need to polish their talent further. Very few students find the right schooling and well-rounded parenting. Clearly, we all admire the crescendo and deep down in our hearts desire our kids to be like them too. Whereas, as a society, we fail to comprehend the need for the development of the talents. If and whenever there is something extraordinary in a child, it needs special attention. But unfortunately, we do not have well-structured systems for this purpose. The accessory caregivers. The crescendo students are not only excellent in academics, but also exceptional in extracurricular activities. It makes them the favorite of their teachers as well as other students. Hence, it is natural that parents feel proud of them, and they should be. Who doesn't enjoy having their child being popular and admired in the school after all? But the complication arises when, instead of adequately coaching their child, some parents are subjugated by vanity. Barbara Klein calls such parents accessory parents. Kids become their status symbol as if they are a priceless possession to show off. Indeed, it reflects well on them and their class. They might use their child's capabilities as their pride accessory, rather than supporting and catering to the child for a better future ahead. Additionally, the private school managements also start to cash the child's abilities to earn undeserved credit and stand out among their competitors. After all, it is a business. Nonetheless, schools must play a part in this context to guide the aforementioned parents and bring humbleness and conscientiousness in them. Now, if teachers, parents, and schools all get addicted to and stuck in the admiration aspect and put undue pressure on students to excel, the students often give up under the weight of being A+ all their life. Isn't it too much to ask for? Thus, a teacher's role is to advise regarding the gifts of imperfection and help the parents to set the right priorities and expect the right outcomes. Because accessory parents, otherwise, never settle for anything less than perfect. When aspirations are forced, they may result in revolt. Many students, when they do not agree to their caregiver's idea of perfection, often end up broken or face depression of not having their aspirations fulfilled. We don't want to raise machines that are unable to enjoy the process of learning. The crescendo requires emotional support, and their inner potential needs to be nurtured at the same time. They need to be taught about what the future holds, how they should fight it, and prepare them for adulthood. The nurturing at home and attention at school go hand in hand. Thus, teachers need to take the lead. Living in denial caregivers. 7-year-old Haris was mostly an uncontrollable child at home. His parents, Fatima and Sohail, were told about their child's extraordinary talents. He was in the 3rd grade and could solve sums of the 7th grade. His teacher even told his parents how he stood out among his peers. Along with that, the teacher told them that he was also easily distractible, which is typical of many smart kids. Fatima and Sohail hardly paid attention to what the teacher said because they were unclear about what they needed to do about it. So, much of this feedback didn't make any sense to them. His parents shifted most of the discussion in parent-teacher meeting towards his careless attitude. Because his parents didn't try to learn more about their child's talent, during his growth age, his behavioral issues and distractibility increased. Fatima and Sohail failed to develop perseverance, and Harris couldn't focus on his studies. His schoolteacher also started to believe that if his parents were not showing any concern, why should he do so? Fatima and Sohail continued to neglect him, and so Harris ended up underachieving and producing poor grades. A simple denial of his capabilities by his parents led him to a vicious circle of poor performance and self-doubt. This story is not uncommon. You will find many such cases if you look closely. As a teacher, you must explain it to the parents and make them understand how and why their involvement is required. You must persuade the parents to support their children's talents. If they are in a denial and are apparently ignoring the information, they need to be educated. You must not ever give up on a child or their parents. It's a continuous effort, requiring patience and persistence. As discussed earlier, one of the missing elements in schools is the psychological and behavioral analysis of students. If appropriate measurable tools are used, parents might be able to see what the school is trying to tell them. Schools should be able to identify kids with potential talents and inform their parents, and then provide them the corresponding parenting plan. However, due to the lack of measurability, most of the teachers also start ignoring such kids. They either don't focus on them, and even if they do not have a systematic way of profiling and reporting them. As simple as it may sound, we need ambitious teachers and consciously willing parents for this purpose. There are various credible online tests that can be used to monitor the well-being of students. I wish to see a report card that talks about a kid's capabilities and improvements more than just subject test scores. Labeling a child as favorite or superior creates a problem for the whole family. There is a significant chance that one of your students is exceptionally bright. The others will experience a lasting impact on their personality development if they do not feel equally special, valuable, lovable, and worthy of your time. I have heard a lot of teachers telling parents that a specific student's other sibling has achieved this and that, but that specific student is not performing good enough. My number one rule is never to bring comparative analysis to parents' attention. Never, ever. As a teacher, ask yourself, why am I using a bright student to justify my performance? Critically evaluate whether you divide siblings into smart and slow categories. If so, you got to stop doing this, because you are contributing to lifelong problems to their entire family. Labeling, indeed, is associated with the destruction of a student's developing sense of self. Of course, you do not want to contribute to fragmented family bonds. Therefore, refrain from the comparative discussion and ruminate on the plan of actions for each child's learning needs. Involve parents in developing their children's potential and finding the right balance between being a pushy parent and being a student's advocate. Also, help them value their children for who they are, rather than unrealistically expecting who they should be.
If you appreciate the ideas presented in this audiobook, please share it with your friends and family. Also, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. This will help the author to monetize this production. Thank you for your token of appreciation.